Jimin cried because of Jungkook's actions. Stop for a moment. Evaluate your sources of information. Ask deeper questions before believing. And most importantly, separate feelings from facts. Amid the unforgiving heat of military training, shocking news came from South Korea's 5th Military Division. Jungkook, one of the youngest and most popular BTS members, made Jimin cry. Not because of a fight nor a personal conflict, but because of something so unexpected, touching, and contrary to the tough military culture they're enduring. The question now is, what exactly happened between these two BTS members that evoked both deep emotion and concern among fans? In the extreme training field, where every soldier is forced to rely on themselves, one person's action can speak louder than 1,000 words. Jungkook, known for his steel spirit and strong determination, suddenly did something that broke an unspoken norm in a military environment. He openly helped Jimin overcome nearly unbearable physical obstacles. Not only did he help technically, Jungkook emotionally showed he was willing to cross boundaries to ensure Jimin stayed strong, both physically and mentally. An internal source from the training base revealed that when Jimin looked exhausted during a grueling physical session, Jungkook, unprompted, took on part of his teammates' burden. In military training, this is an unusual act, even considered a breach of discipline. However, in this case, Jungkook's sincerity and loyalty left the commanders silent, and they gave no sanction whatsoever. Their commander, according to reports, simply nodded quietly and let the moment pass, as if realizing Jungkook's action was more than just assistance. It was a rare form of sacrifice and solidarity. Shortly after the incident, Jimin was seen quietly crying in the dormitory. Several eyewitnesses said he sat silently, eyes glassy, staring at the floor with an expression that was hard to describe. When asked, he simply replied in a low voice, "I didn't expect Jungkook to do that for me." That single sentence was enough to capture the depth of their relationship, and it touched many hearts. BTS fans, known as ARMY, responded to this event with mixed emotions: pride, emotion, and concern. Many poured their feelings on social media, calling Jungkook's actions extraordinary and beyond the expectations of a regular soldier. Some fans even claimed that this story is the main reason they love BTS, not just for their music, but for the human values they uphold, even off stage. The concern wasn't about Jungkook's action being dangerous, but because he was willing to take such a big risk for Jimin. In a military context, breaking self-reliance standards can have serious consequences. Yet Jungkook's decision to help Jimin showed that loyalty and empathy are values he holds tightly, even in a situation that demands cold focus and self-preservation. ARMY began to wonder, how long can Jungkook maintain his humanity without being worn down by the harshness of military training? This wasn't the first time Jungkook showed his concern for Jimin. From trainee days to becoming global superstars, the two have always demonstrated a closeness that goes beyond mere coworkers. They often supported each other during difficult times, both off-camera and in public. But this time, when all the spotlights are off and only discipline and physical strength matter, Jungkook still chose to protect Jimin. That's not image building, that's character. Many former soldiers also share their thoughts. In the military, it's not easy to help others, especially physically. Usually, everyone's too busy saving themselves, wrote a veteran on a military community forum. If someone can still show empathy under such conditions, it means they truly have a different kind of heart. This event also serves as a deep reflection on who Jungkook and Jimin really are behind their idol personas. Jungkook is not just the main vocalist with outstanding stage skills, and Jimin is not just an emotional performer who captivates audiences. In the grueling training field that tests both mind and body, they've shown that the friendship they built over years under K-pop industry pressure is strong enough to survive even the harshest environment. Now, as their mandatory military service is set to end this June, many fans are speculating about what's next. Will their closeness lead to a more personal music collaboration? Or will there be an exclusive documentary covering their time in the military? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure. The story behind the 5th Division's walls will live on in ARMY's hearts. What moves many even more is the fact that Jungkook's action seems to reflect an unspoken promise they once showed the public, that they would always be there for each other, no matter how far or difficult the road gets. For ARMY, this serves as a reminder that reignites their love for BTS. They don't just follow the group's musical journey, but are emotionally connected to the human bonds shown by its members. It's not easy to maintain such closeness under military pressure, especially with massive public expectations. Yet Jungkook and Jimin prove that behind all the superstar labels, they are two young men who are loyal and sincere, even when the world demands them to be strong and cold. This story isn't just a viral headline among K-pop fans. It's a powerful narrative about friendship, empathy, and courage. Behind military discipline, they revealed a side of humanity that not everyone can preserve. It's no surprise ARMY is deeply worried, because this heartwarming story not only shows love between two friends, but also that even in a harsh world, noble values can still live, and perhaps that's the most valuable lesson of all, that even in a place where tenderness seems impossible, someone like Jungkook still chooses to care. And someone like Jimin, with all his strength, can still cry because he knows he's not alone. Did this story give you goosebumps too? If so, then you're not alone. The world is watching and will continue to remember that amid obstacles and military discipline, there lies a friendship story that cannot be forgotten. The touching event between Jungkook and Jimin that took place during the intense 5th Division military training has captured the attention of millions around the world. Yet behind this deeply emotional story, one big question emerges that we must seriously reflect on. Is this event truly real? Or is it simply a narrative crafted and spread through various social media channels to evoke public sympathy and create buzz? In a world increasingly dominated by fast-flowing information, stories like this carry extremely strong emotional appeal. The overwhelming reaction from ARMY on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube proves how deep the emotional connection is between idols and their fans. But let's pause for a moment and ask, what's the main source of this information? Does this report come from an official military source? Or is it just from anonymous eyewitnesses appearing as viral social media narratives? We don't deny that the story holds high moral value. Jungkook's action, if true, would surely symbolize solidarity and sacrifice. However, as wise consumers of information, we need to ask basic questions. Can this news source be verified? Who first shared the story? Has any national or international mainstream media reported it? Sadly, most of this information first appeared from subjective social media posts and hasn't been independently verified. This phenomenon is nothing new. The entertainment world, especially K-pop, often becomes fertile ground for dramatic narratives that quickly spread online. Many such stories succeed in manipulating readers' emotions, making them believe in something that may not be true. Is it possible this story is part of a communication strategy from the fanbase or even the marketing team to keep public enthusiasm alive during BTS's hiatus? We don't mean to underestimate or deny the closeness between Jungkook and Jimin. The fact that they've shown a tight bond for years isn't in question. However, we also can't ignore the possibility that stories like this might be carefully constructed to build an emotional image that ensures fan loyalty. Are we witnessing a story of true friendship, or are we caught in a cleverly designed scenario meant to harvest sympathy and attention? This question matters, not to create doubt, but to train our critical thinking in consuming information. In today's digital era, where videos can be edited, voices altered, and narratives twisted, it's vital for the public not to